Hello, everyone. I'm going to get started, even though I'm sure we will have a few more people join us as we go. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Erica. I am a life coach, and I specialize in helping women find happiness after divorce. So welcome to Breaking Chains, Overcoming Limiting Beliefs, and Embracing Your New Chapter. Imagine breaking free from the chains of self-doubt and stepping into a future that is filled with possibility and empowerment. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about during this webinar, and I hope that you guys get a lot out of it. All right. So about me, as I said, my name is Erica. I am a life coach. I focus on helping women find happiness after divorce. There are so many things that hold us back after a divorce, between grief, fear, loss of sense of self, and it's really speaks to my heart that it's so important that we find happiness and find fulfillment after divorce. I know many of you who will be watching this recording know my story by this point, so I will not bore you with it. But, I went through my own divorce about, I think it's been 9 years now, and I am now very happily remarried. I decided that I deserved more, and I deserved to be happy, and life was too short to not be happy. So I moved on, and here I am, and now I am trying to help other women find that happiness as well. All right, so understanding limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? A limiting belief is a negative belief that we hold about ourselves or others or the world around us. Imagine these beliefs as chains that are holding you back from reaching your true potential. Limiting beliefs often stem from past experiences, societal norms, or childhood conditioning. So a common thing is somebody believing that they can't go to college, or they're not very smart because nobody else in their family went to college. That is a very common limiting belief. Or my mom was obese, my dad was obese, I'm going to be obese. There's nothing I can do about it. There's a saying in psychology that goes, the words that come after I am are powerful. Choose wisely. This highlights the significance and the importance of self-talk and the impact that it has on our self-perception and our mindset. Your subconscious brain makes up 95% of your brain power. And if you have a little voice in the back of your head that is saying, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm a failure, I'm an idiot, that is how your brain is going to operate. Your brain believes what you tell it, and it can't tell the difference between lies and reality. So your subconscious mind works to bring you closer to what you believe. If you keep telling yourself that you are a failure, you are going to make choices that will lead you to failure. So what are some common limiting beliefs? In this particular space, I am not worthy of love. All men are the same. I will never find someone who loves me. I will never be successful. I fail at everything I do. I am unlovable. I am too old to find love. These are all things that many of us have said to ourselves over and over again. And when we repeat these stories in our head, we convince ourselves that they're true. So identifying your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs can take many forms, and they can affect various areas of our lives. These beliefs can hold us back from taking action, taking risks, pursuing opportunities, or experiencing joy and fulfillment. What limiting beliefs do you have? What stories do you tell yourself? What negative thought patterns are prevalent in your mind? I bet there's more than one. Be honest with yourself. We're going to do a brief exercise for those of you who are here with me live. Going to knock a few things over first. We're going to do a quick exercise. So if you have a piece of paper, or you can use your phone, or you can just do it in your head if you want to, that's totally fine. We're going to do something that is called the 5 whys, which helps you to identify your limiting beliefs. And don't say you don't have one, because we all do. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to identify an area in your life where you feel stuck. So if it's your relationship, your career, your finances, whatever, pick an area in your life, a pretty specific instance where you feel stuck. And then I want you to ask yourself why. So why are you stuck? Or why are you not experiencing growth? And once you've asked yourself why one time, you're going to ask yourself why again. And again. And again. And again, until we get to 5. So we want 5 whys to help dig out the deeper reason why you're not achieving your goal. So for instance, why can't I stop looking at my ex's Facebook feed or Instagram feed? Because I want to see what they're doing. Because I'm curious if they're in a new relationship. Why? Because maybe I'm not really over them yet. Why? Because I never got closure. Why? Because I didn't have the strength to ask them why we broke up. Something like that. So that's just a rough example off the top of my head. I'm going to give you guys just a couple of minutes to do that yourselves. My timer only works in 3, 5s, 10s, and 15s. So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to think through that. If you have any questions, feel free to take yourself off of mute.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I can't come up with number 5. Like, my thing is I live alone and it's really difficult because I get scared being home alone. So it's basically loneliness.
Okay.
I don't try to date, so that's one of the reasons. And then I'm scared of people screwing me over if I was to rent out a room. So that's
Okay.
another reason.
Sure.
And there's a lot of stuff in that extra room that would be hard to place elsewhere if I was to rent it out.
Okay.
But other than that, I can't think of anything else.
So can you think of, like, maybe if we take the topic of being lonely or being afraid to live alone. So why are you afraid to be alone?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like I'm not afraid someone's going to come in and murder me, like
That's good.
I don't understand why I get so creeped out being here by myself.
Okay, but you do feel creeped out.
Yeah.
Okay. So something that you can do is like, why do you feel creeped out?
like I feel like there could be an intrude, like someone could try to like get in.
Okay. Why do you feel like that's a risk, more of a risk when you're alone versus having a roommate?
Just another person's presence is comforting,
Okay.
but logically I know it's no different of a chance.
Right. So let's see. Why don't you want to invite somebody else into your home?
Um, I'm very gullible and I'm kind of a chump, so like, and I'm really generous to the point where I'm always taken advantage of by other people. And I'm terrified to get a roommate who's going to wind up like taking all my money.
Okay. So I think even if you can't get 5 real reasons, and
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be perfectly linear, but I think like you having a fear of somebody taking advantage of you, right? So you're afraid to be alone because you're afraid of intruders, and you feel like if somebody else was there, you would have a little bit more uh, physical support in the event of an intruder. But then we get to the real meat of the problem is that you lack um, confidence in your ability to make decisions.
Correct.
So if you lack confidence in your ability to make decisions, why do you lack confidence in your ability to make decisions? Because you're gullible.
I'm gullible and I usually make the wrong decision.
Okay. So I think that's your limiting belief right there.
Thank you.
You usually make the wrong decision. So you feel, and this is probably something that comes up in other areas of your life as well, but you feel like you are maybe incapable of making the right decision. So
Correct.
it's coming up as I'm afraid to live alone. But what it really boils down to is I don't trust my judgment. So it's keeping me living alone. Does that
Correct. I agree.
resonate?
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So we want to reflect on those patterns, just like we just did with Becky, and pay attention to recurring phrases or ideas that may emerge across your answers. So something that Becky, thank you for being such a great example, like came up with, I'm gullible, I'm easy to take advantage of. And it's interesting that your fear of being alone because you're afraid of intruders is another kind of mechanism of being taken advantage of, right? So you're afraid that an intruder is going to take advantage of you, but your fear of trusting other people is also limiting you from having that reinforcement of having a roommate or another person in your home.
Yes.
So that's like a repeating pattern. And I bet that that comes up in other places in your life. Like you mentioned, like not wanting to get into a relationship because you can't trust people. So I think that that's probably a big one for you. So once you've identified your limiting belief, you want to challenge them by asking yourself if they're based on facts or based on assumptions, considering alternative perspectives and evidence that contradict your beliefs. So Becky, I'm going to continue to pick on you because you're the only one here live. But you can say, like, when is a time that I wasn't gullible? When was a time that I made a good decision? So it's kind of, you're arguing in your head about, I always make bad decisions. Well, except for that one time that I made a good decision, or I had good judgment, or I was able to trust myself. So being able to identify and then challenge those beliefs is really important. And then finally, reframing your limiting belief to more empowering and supportive beliefs by replacing negative self-talk with affirmations or statements that reflect confidence, resilience, or self-compassion. So, in this particular example, you can say, I make good decisions. I have made all of these good decisions, using evidence from your past of times that you made good decisions. So that's just a really interesting exercise that you can do. You can apply it to anything, any area of your life, and just work on like really being honest with yourself and not editing your response. So really like allowing yourself to say the first thing that comes to your mind is really important, because we like, even to ourselves, we want to look better and sound better. So it's easy to say, well, I don't always do that, or that's not really true. And that's okay to challenge it. But when you're trying to tease out those limiting beliefs, it's really important to just let it come.
Okay.
All right. So our beliefs shape our reality, but they're not set in stone. We have the power to challenge them, and we have the power to change them. So imagine looking at the world through a narrow lens where your beliefs dictate what is possible for you. And then imagine challenging your beliefs and widening that lens to see the endless possibilities beyond your current beliefs. By shifting your perspective, we can open ourselves up to new opportunities and experience different experience different experiences. That's a good one. And we can shift our mindset, moving from a place of fear and self-doubt to a place of empowerment and possibility. You can view hardship as an opportunity for growth and for transformation. So, Becky, to pick on you again, you could use this loneliness and this fear of being alone because you're afraid of being taken advantage of as an opportunity to embrace living by yourself. I live by myself and I get to do X, Y, and Z because I don't have to worry about anybody else. I can, have a dance party at 3 o'clock in the morning, unless you have neighbors. But I can, a big one for me, like when I first lived by myself, was I decorated everything in purple. So I had a purple.
Oh my God.
I had a purple carpet. Because I was like, nobody can tell me what to do. Nobody cares what my house looks like other than me. And
I have a purple rug.
yeah, love it. And I know that another person, like their significant other, would criticize them for buying throw pillows or bed pillows. So when they broke up, she went out and she bought all the throw pillows, all the bed pillows. If your ex or your former roommate or whatever didn't like when you burned candles, burn the candles that you like, or when you cooked certain food because it made the apartment smell, take the opportunity to, instead of being fearful of being by yourself, embrace the opportunity to do whatever the heck you want without anybody telling you that you can't. All right. So embrace your new chapter. It is so important to have some self-compassion in overcoming your limiting beliefs. It's not like, oh, that's my limiting belief, I'm over it already. Like, it takes some work, but you have to treat yourself with kindness and understanding during these challenging times where you're learning what those limiting beliefs are, because it's so important to identify the limiting beliefs, but sometimes it can be uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. but it's so important because you don't want to be held back by that limiting belief for the rest of your life.
Mm-mm.
All right, a couple different techniques for overcoming limiting beliefs. Journaling. Something that may work for you, Becky, is what we call fear journaling. So writing down, like set a timer for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and write down what you're afraid of. Because when you get it out of your head and onto paper, it makes it less scary. And it allows you to process that emotion rather than having like looping thoughts, like laying in bed and like, what was that noise? Somebody's going to break in. Things along those lines. So if you write it down and you journal it and you say, just get it out, stop letting it loop through your brain and get it off your chest so that you're able to breathe and think more clearly and process it on paper. One of the things that we tend to do is to suppress these feelings. Like, I'm laying in bed, it's late, I hear a thump, and I'm like worried about it. And then I'm like, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. Or if you're heartbroken over somebody, don't think about it, don't think about it. And when we don't think about it, it doesn't go away. It just moves into the back of your mind. And like I was saying earlier, your subconscious mind makes up 95% of your brain power. So if you shove it from the 5% that's active to the 95% that's not active, it's taking up more space in your brain and it's pervasive. And it can creep into other areas of your life. So maybe you're not just fearful at night. Maybe you're fearful during the day too. Maybe you start getting jumpy when you walk down the street because you've got this nagging anxiety in the back of your brain that is telling you that something's not right, something is unsettling, but you're not dealing with and processing that emotion. So that feeling, that physical feeling stays there. So with fear journaling, what you do is you write, I am afraid because, and you get it all out. So you're able to, you're not burying it, you're not pushing it to the side, you're getting it on paper and you're processing it. And for some people, tearing up the journal page afterwards or burning it or flushing it down the toilet helps to remove that thought or that fear. Okay. Another thing that you can do is affirmations. So little post-it notes or set a reminder on your phone or an alarm on your phone to go off several times per day that says, you know, I am brave, I am strong, I love living alone, I love this freedom, I love this independence, I don't need a roommate. So when you convince yourself, when you tell yourself those things over and over, they help to replace those limiting beliefs, the I'm scared, I'm fearful, I'm not trustworthy. And when you replace the negative beliefs with positive affirmations, it helps to rewire your brain a little bit. So you see the world differently. Again, your brain wants to move you towards what is comfortable. So when you're telling yourself, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, your brain is going to say, of course you're scared. Look at that scary thing over there. And you're going to pick up more on the scary things rather than when you're telling yourself, I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need anybody else. I am able to do this by myself. I am able to enjoy living by myself. Living by myself is great. Then your brain works towards recognizing and noticing things that reinforce that belief. So kind of a common reference in mindset work and psychology is that, like, you never see blue cars until you buy a blue car, and then the blue cars are everywhere. it's not because everybody went out and bought a new blue car. It's because you just didn't notice it before. But now it's at the forefront of your brain, and it's active in your mind. So now you're seeing them everywhere you go. And that's really how affirmations work in a nutshell. Another thing is visualization. So visualization is the practice of, usually with your eyes closed, visualizing yourself doing what is hard for you. So, in your instance, Becky, maybe visualize doing something fun in your apartment or your home by yourself, like eating ice cream in your underwear at noon on a Saturday, whatever it is that would make living by yourself enjoyable, like buying a bunch of throw pillows, or painting your walls purple, or whatever it is that gives you a little bit of satisfaction, I guess, is the something that makes you feel good. So visualizing yourself doing these things that you wouldn't be able to do if you had a roommate, or visualize yourself making a good choice, making a good decision, being discerning when you're talking to another person, like, okay, this person is not being truthful with me, so I'm going to walk away, or I'm going to set a boundary. There are lots of different things, lots of different directions that you can go with that.
Okay.
All right. I think that's duplicate. We'll talk about it anyway. All right. So as you work to overcome your limiting beliefs, we're breaking chains. We're embracing the new chapter of growth and possibility, which is what we've just been talking about. It's embracing something different than what you know. A lot of times we talk about mindset shifting in like weight loss. People say, I'm fat. I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. I'm never going to be able to lose weight. And when you tell yourself that, you can't, because your body is always going to go back to, well, I can't lose weight, so I might as well eat that cookie, or I might as well go to McDonald's, or I already screwed up, so I might as well keep screwing up. So we're trying to rewrite that narrative in our head so that we're able to move past it. It's not always easy, but it is possible. All right, so the path to freedom: practice self-awareness. You cannot defeat limiting beliefs if you don't know what they are. So practicing that 5 whys exercise so that you can challenge. Luna decided she needed to be a part of this. I'm sorry. This is a very professional webinar. All right. Okay. Oh. Okay. You wait just a minute. So practicing self-awareness, identifying what your limiting beliefs are, and being able to call yourself out when you do tell yourself that lie. When you say, I have bad judgment, I'm gullible, you can challenge that and say, you know what? No, you're not. You make good decisions. You have made good decisions in the past. So, but you can't challenge those beliefs unless you're aware of them. So doing that 5 whys exercise is a really kind of simple way to do that. Surround yourself with support. If you have a friend that you can call, or you can text and say, oh my God, I thought I was gullible again, or something like that. Or I told myself I was fat again, or, whatever it is that is your limiting belief, have somebody that can hold you accountable. If you, you can use a journal for your support. You can use a life coach for support. You can use your friends. Create an accountability group for whatever you're trying to do, like getting out and meeting new people. And maybe having a system of checks and balances. So like Becky, if you don't trust your own judgment, maybe having somebody that can support you, that you can kind of bounce ideas off of, or say, well, I met this person and I don't trust my judgment, even though I'm really good at discerning. But can you help me to make a better decision?
Okay.
And then celebrate your progress. Whenever you identify one of those negative thoughts, say, oh, that's that's a limiting belief, and get rid of it, reframe it, whatever you need to do, and then celebrate your success. Say, before I would have just let that make me feel bad, but now I am taking steps to making it feel better.
Mm.
All right, that was fast. Any questions?
Mm.
Nothing? All right. Well, thank you so much, Becky, for coming. I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions or you feel like you need any more support, feel free to reach out to me on through the Facebook group or
Okay.
through a direct message. But I hope you have a good night. And Luna's coming to say goodnight.
You guys too.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Luna. I know, Lucy, I